I'm going to show you LG's heat pump dryer. It's a 9 kilo capacity, something that's been in the market for about a year or so, but I thought I'd share it with you and show you the features that are on it and why I think you need to keep an eye on it if you are in the market to upgrade or you just want to know more about LG's heat pump dryers. Now this comes in a 9 kg capacity, 8 kg capacity, and I think it's also got a 10 kilo capacity. But for this one, it's a 9 kilo capacity. And I think this is perfect for most laundries. It'll fit in most small spaces like a Euro laundry or apartments where you don't have a lot of space to be putting a dryer on top of a washing machine. This will fit perfectly. It's got an 850 millimeter height and 600 millimeter depth and 600 millimeter width, meaning that you can put it on top of your existing washing machine without much of a fuss, which is a plus. And I think something that's amazing about this is that it's a 9 kilo, even though it's a compact size, you're still able to put a lot of clothes inside there. You got a big drum in there that can accommodate a lot of your clothes. Now, most washing machines are 9 kilos or 7 kilos. So this will be perfect for anyone that wants to have a setup where you have a washing machine and a dryer. You just take the clothes straight out of the washing machine. You don't need to halve them and put them into the dryer. And of course, if you're loading any dryer, the maximum you can put in it is about like halfway up the door. And I think it's amazing. The color that's on this gunmetal gray is amazing. I absolutely love this color. And you look at that black tempered glass and then the chrome finish in the outside, just gives you a premium look to your laundry. Now, of course, some people you need to match it up with the washing machine to look the same, but I still think it looks good with any setting that you put it in. And how amazing is this light that it's got inside. You can also turn that light on and off on command. There's buttons on the screen here which you can use to control that light, which are here. I'll be walking you through that and many other features. Our button here, which you use to turn it off and on. And it's got this sound that it plays when it turns on, which is pretty cool. You can turn that off, of course. You can turn it off if you don't like it. There's just 2 buttons here which you press and hold to turn off these beeps that go on when you're using it. You got this nice dial that you use to select your dry cycles. And over here, you've got your digital display that's gonna show you the time that the dry cycles are gonna take. And then you've got the touch panel here with extra buttons for more features that you will be able to use on here. And then of course, you've got your start button over here, which you use to start your cycle once you're ready to start. Over here, you've got, so this is a heat pump dryer. It's a heat pump dryer, but it's also a condenser dryer. So what it does is it collects the water in a tank, which is usually on here, like most condenser dryers, or you can set it up at the back to drain like a normal washing machine with a hose so that you don't have to drain this after every 4 or 5 dry cycles, depending on what you're drying. If you're drying things that are a bit heavier, then this fills up faster. This might look like it's a bit small, but it will do the job. Because not everyone has access to draining it like a normal washing machine. And if you want to drain it like a normal washing machine, you've got to have it on top of a washer, or the drain has to be sort of gravity fed. The pump's not that strong to be pumping out water like over a long distance. So there's something that you have to think about if you want to get one of these. And something that I really love about this is that this door is reversible. So you can actually reverse this door. So you can actually reverse this door. So now this door at the moment is opening from left to right, but it's as easy as taking out this panel, this switch and these screws that hold it there, and then removing 2 there, and then you can flip around the door and then it will be opening from the other side. How cool is that? So you can actually flip it so that it opens from the opposite side. Now, of course, like you have to change a few things around, but it works either way. So that's something to think about. If you're in the market to buy something like this, you can actually change the doors around and make it open from right to left. Just check before you buy from whatever retailer or from LG directly if yours has this reversible door setting. But for mine, I can reverse this door. My model is Model DVH9-09B. You can do that. Now, for those who we're not familiar with heat pump technology, this thing is about 9-star energy rated, so it uses a lot less electricity than normal dryers. Most dryers would heat up the air using an element, and that's how to dry your clothes. But with this, it's got a compressor inside, like your air conditioner or your fridge, and that way it's not heating up your clothes. It's not using as much electricity that normal dryers do. So you're gonna save on your electricity bill. Like for me, I used to share house with a lot of people, and I put one of these in, and my electricity bill went down by about $100 a month. So even though this thing will cost you maybe brand new 2,000 Australian dollars, it will pay for itself over the years. If you think over 2 years, saving about $50 a month, that's gonna save you a lot in terms of energy bills. You could go out there and buy those cheap dryers that are gonna cost you maybe 200 or 300 bucks. But what those dryers are gonna do is they're gonna heat up your clothes, they're gonna shrink them, and they're gonna steam up the room, and they're gonna raise your electricity prices. Now with this, you won't have to worry about every time you dry, worrying about how large your electricity bill will be, because this doesn't use as much electricity. It's pretty good. So over here, you've got this dial which you use to select your cycles. And with this, it's got sensor dry and also got time dry. So sensor dry it determines when the clothes are dry or if they're still wet. So you leave it to do its thing. So this will depend on how much you've put in there and how the other settings that you've selected on here to say if you want it extra dry, iron dry, or cupboard dry. So if you come over here to the right hand side, there's a dry level here, which you can select extra dry, iron dry, or cupboard dry. And with that, the time changes as well. So just be mindful of that whenever you're using this. Now, I know a lot of you will look at this and say, oh, cotton cycle, so it's a cotton cycle. It's gonna take 3 hours to dry my clothes. Don't be too worried about seeing that, because what this is gonna do, it's gonna dry for maybe an hour or an hour and 10 minutes, and then it's gonna go, oh, these clothes are almost dry. I only need about another 20 minutes, and then you walk in and you go, oh, it's almost done. And then it'll take the clothes out. But then if you have a look over here, you've got a button here that can turbo this. It's gonna save you another 20 minutes or so. It's gonna make the dry cycle a bit faster, make the compressor work a bit faster. And then that way, the clothes are gonna dry much faster. So you can use that turbo mode. I love that this model or this brand, it actually has this turbo dry mode or normal mode, because most dryers, some of them don't have this feature. What you see is what you get, and you can't make it any faster. But with this, I'm glad they've got that. And then the other thing they have is over here, you can turn the drum light on and off. You can see what's going on inside. So many times you want to see what's going on inside when it's drying. You want to see what's happening. So that's one feature that I think is a really good one on this. You can turn it off and on demand like that. It will turn itself off. There's no need for you to use the button to turn it off. But then over here, this dial, there's different cycles. You got cottons, delicates, woolens, and as you're going around, they're just different variations of how dry it's gonna make them, and the time changes as you move the dial along. You get rack dry. So rack dry, you actually get a rack that you put inside here that you can use when you want to dry your shoes. So basically, it's a rack that sits on here and at the back there where your shoes can sit and dry. Now, rack dry is not gonna take that long. It just depends what you're drying, you know? But I think it's pretty good to use that rack to dry your shoes. You shouldn't ever have to put your shoes in there and make them hit these pedals. Otherwise, you're ruining the dryer and you're ruining the surface of the dryer as well. So that rack dry comes with the dryer when you buy it. So make sure that you check and make sure that it's in the package when you get your dryer. Something really handy. And then we'll move on. You've got a cool air dry, warm air, download cycle. Now, download cycle is you can actually connect this dryer to the internet and then use the ThinQ app, and you can download personalized or customized cycle onto the dryer, so that the next time you come around to do your drying, if you know what you really usually like to use drying, you don't have to play around with all these settings and set things up. You can just go on your download cycle and it's already there. Now, I've done previous videos on many LG washer dryers. It's not necessarily a dryer, but I've dried it on a washing machine that uses similar technology. So be sure to check out my other videos on how to connect this to the internet and be able to download cycles onto this and control it. You can do a lot of things with it. You can voice control it through Amazon Alexa or Google Home and do a lot more things. Then over here, you've got a quick 30-minute dry cycle and allergy care, towels, duvet, easy care, mixed fabric, cottons. So a whole lot of dry cycles that you can select. Now, if you open the door here, at the bottom, you're gonna see that there's a seal, a filter. So this filter is what you clean every time you do a dry cycle. You need to clean this out. You see there's already some lint there. Just clean it out just like that. No need to wash it. Maybe you can wash this after every few months, and then, because what happens is if you don't clean that out, all that lint is gonna go in there where the condenser is inside. And what happens is that the condenser clogs up. And once the condenser clogs up, this thing doesn't dry properly. So make sure you always check the filter. Make sure that you always clean it up and keep it clean, and that will make the dryer last longer. 90% of the time, dryers, especially heat pump dryers, stop working because people haven't cleaned the filter every time they do a dry cycle, and then the lint clogs up the condenser. So make sure, especially on this model, that you can't clean the condenser yourself physically. Make sure you always clean that. All right, on the right here with the touch panel on the display, there's a lot of options here which you can use. If you want a quicker dry cycle, you can press the dry mode, and that will put it from normal to turbo or from turbo to normal. And then you've got a dryness level which you can select. You can ion dry, carbo dry, or extra dry. If you press and hold this button, it will turn on the light in the drum, so you can see whatever you want to see. That will help you with that. And the light will just turn itself off. Then over here, you've got anti-crease. So anti-crease is every 5 minutes for 5 hours, it will turn once, so that your clothes are not just sitting there creasing. Like, defeats the purpose of using a dryer if you have to just take them out of there and then iron them again. You should be able to just take them out of there, put them in the wardrobe, or they're ready to wear. So with that, if you want, you can just press anti-crease, and that will help your clothes to stay flat and not creased. And then over here, you'll see this delay end button. So this is a timer. So say if you get home, if you're going to work or you get home late, you don't want to wait for the clothes to dry. You can go, okay, I'll be back from work in like 7 hours. So you can put your clothes in and then set this timer to start drying in, it's like maybe 3 hours. Or you can, once you press that, you can go, it started 3 hours. You can go, okay, I want it to start drying in like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. So you can just keep going with this. You can add time using these things, or you can put less time. You can delay it for up to 19 hours. The good thing about that is that if you're going out or you go to work, you come back, as you're walking in, it's finishing drying. You just take them straight out of there, put them in the wardrobe. Or if you want to save on electricity, you can set it to dry in the off-peak time, where you get less rates for using electricity in that time. Or if you've got a solar system set up in your house, you can set it to dry while there's sunny outside, you've got electricity going, you can do that. Then the other thing you can do is, you see there's a drum clean here. So drum clean is for cleaning out the drum, and, you know, it just needs to clean out anything that's happening in there, clean that out. Or there's also a condenser clean. If you press and hold that, it's gonna give you the option to do a condenser clean. So what you're gonna do with that, you'll be cleaning the condenser so that there's no fluff. It's gonna clean out any fluff that's building up there. So I recommend you do this maybe once every month so that it's nice and clean. It might periodically do it itself if there's enough water in your tank, but this is a manual one to do that. And then over here, these two buttons, if you press and hold them, you can turn off the beep. If you don't like the beep that it's having now, you can just press and hold. And with that, that beeping will stop. So you got that, it's off now. See, it's not making noises anymore. So peace and quiet. But if you like the noises, press and hold, and that sound should come back on. Now over here, you got those buttons for more and less time. That's more for the delay end, or if you're doing the time dry, I suppose you can add a bit more time to it. So you can add more time if you're doing time dry, warm air or cool air, you can add time to that. So that's like an extras button that you can use. It's pretty simple to use once you start using it. There's nothing hard about it. I will mention that if you see here, it says manual dry. So all these options are for manual drying, but the other ones that are not in blue, they're for sensor drying. The dryer will determine when the clothes are dry, and then you can take your clothes out of the dryer. Pretty simple. Worth the investment, I think. And the other good thing about these is got a 10-year warranty on the compressor and the motor. So if you get any leaks or if the compressor stops working, got 10 years warranty on that. So that's good. I've been seeing a lot of these heat pump dryers. Some of them, the compressor fails on them. So it's good to know that LG is providing 10-year warranty on that compressor. So you're covered. If you ever buy one of these, make sure, or anything new these days, make sure you add on the extended warranty, because these things break down. Extended warranty for the cost, it is worth it. For the extra money it costs you, it's worth getting that extended warranty. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will get back to you.